On Thursday, the United States Senate did something very unusual. It went against the wishes of President Trump when it passed a bipartisan war powers resolution on Iran. The resolution comes in the aftermath of the killing of the Iranian General Soleimani and attempts to curtail the president's power to attack Iran without the approval of Congress. Trump's interest in military intervention in Iran goes back at least to 1980, when he told an interviewer that the United States should have invaded the Islamic Republic during the hostage crisis. On the other hand, the president is cozy with Iran's mortal enemy, Saudi Arabia. Riyadh was, interestingly enough, Trump's first foreign stop as president. I want to talk about all of this with Kim Ghattas. She is a veteran Middle East reporter and the author of a new book about the Cold War between Iran and Saudi Arabia called Black Wave. Kim, pleasure to have you on. Explain how you came to write this book. Because there's a personal angle.
There is a personal angle. I was trying to answer the question of what happened to us, because unlike what most people think today, particularly in the West, the Middle East wasn't always this torn. We've always had upheaval, but not to this extent. And there are three misconceptions I think people have about the region. One, they believe that Iran and Saudi Arabia have always been enemies. It's not true. They became rivals in 1979 after the Iran Revolution. Before that, they were twin pillars in the US policy in the region. They were friendly competitors. The other mistake that people make is to think that Sunnis and Shias, the two main sects in Islam, have always had sectarian violence between them. That is also not true. The theological divide is real, but over the course of history, Sunnis and Shias have probably killed each other less than Catholics and Protestants. It's just that these are the headlines of today. And finally, the cultural intolerance that seems to dominate and that makes the headlines was also not the norm in the region. So the question, what happened to us, is what drove me to write this book. It's the opening of the book. And I think the question of what happened to us is important because I talk not just about the geopolitics, but about the cultural shifts, about the norms that shift, about the values that shift. And I think the question, what happened to us, resonates beyond the Middle East today.